Hi, welcome to Driving TV and I hope you are well. Welcome back to another video where we are talking about in this lockdown what we should be doing, and we are talking about that in the lockdown. Just because we have a lockdown, it doesn't mean that we just stop learning. We should keep learning and try to gain as much as possible the knowledge so that when we go back to driving again, we have more knowledge of the things that we will be learning. That way we will save time and money. So in the last video you've made some requests for me to help you with, and hopefully in this video I will try to help you with those requests. For the next video, which I'm going to come with in about next few days, if you want to make any request for the next video, the subjects you want me to talk about, write it in the comment. Try to help you with that on the next video. So in this video I will try to help you with the request you've made on the last video, and there are plenty and I will try to cover as much as I can in this video. So one of the requests is hill start, car rolls back. How can you avoid on a hill, if you need to move the car on a hill, how can you avoid the car rolls back or rolling back? Because on a hill, if the clutch control isn't right, the car is going to go back. So how do you avoid that? And the best way to do that is obviously with the clutch. So you have to make sure you know the preparation of a hill start. Okay, there are two types of hill start. One is uphill, one is downhill. So in this case I will try to answer how to avoid rolling back. Okay, so if you stop on a hill, the danger is the car is going to roll back. And the way you avoid that is to make sure that your clutch control is right. You need to have enough gas. You need to bring the clutch to the biting point and take the handbrake off slower than normal. Okay, so three things you need. One is to give enough gas, and because it's on a hill you need a little bit more than normal, which is 2000 rev, and then you bring the clutch up to the biting point. Obviously you'll have to have the car on a gear, first gear. Bring the clutch to the biting. Find where the biting is. How do you know where the bite is? Is by the noise. The noise will change soon as the car comes to the biting. The bonnet will go up. You will feel the noise is going to change. So as soon as you know where the biting is, and then it's the handbrake. Now you gave enough gas and you bring the clutch to the biting point. Okay, and then you want to take the handbrake off. Now this is the point where you have to make sure you know the car doesn't go back, and the way you do that is press the button of the handbrake and don't release it all in one go. Release it slowly, really slowly. You could feel if the car wants to go back or not. Okay, so as you take the handbrake off down, not all the way, just slowly down, and then if you feel the car wants to go back, that means the clutch needs to come up a little bit more. If the car wants to go forward, it means the clutch needs to go down a little bit more. Your aim is to bring it up to the biting so the car doesn't go forward or backward. And the way you confirm that is with the handbrake. Don't take the handbrake off all the way down. Just press the button of the handbrake and slowly down, really slowly, and you feel if the car wants to go back or not. Like I said, if he wants to go back, it means the clutch needs to come up a little bit more, and if he wants to go forward, clutch needs to go down a little bit more. Okay, and then once you know the car is not going back or forward and the clutch is right to the bite, take the handbrake off all the way down, both hands on the wheel, and then fraction more clutch up, car starts to go, a little bit more gas, and off you go. Okay, so for you to avoid the car not to go back or roll back is to do the clutch control right, and don't take the handbrake off all the way down in one go. Slowly down and feel the biting. Okay, so the next question or the next request is near side to near side, or near side, someone said far side. Okay, so what they mean, I think, is on a crossroad, when you are making your turn going right, there are two types of turning we do. One is offside to offside and one is near side to near side. So let's talk about that on the board. Okay, so this is a crossroad. Okay, and like I said, on a crossroad there are two types of turning when you're going right. One is offside to offside and one is near side to near side. Okay, now let's talk about that. This is your car. Imagine this is your car and you want to go right, and there's another car coming. They want to go right too. Okay, so in those situations there are two types. One is, okay, so that's the way you're going and that's the way they're going. This is known as near side to near side. Okay, so you are turning front of the other car and they are turning front of you. That's near side to near side. Offside would be you're going a little bit more and they go a little bit more and you are going back of each other. Okay, so behind each other, behind, so not front, behind each other. So that's your car, that's the other car, and that's this car. You are going there and they are going there, back of each other, which is offside to offside. Now the safest one is obviously offside to offside, is because when you are turning right you could see more who's coming here. When you're going front of the other car you can't really see, because that's the other car, this is your car, you can't really see who's coming on the side of the other side. So the safest is offside to offside, but obviously both are fine. So just make sure that if you are turning near side to near side, just make sure it is safe, no one coming from the other side. Okay, so on a crossroad there are two types when you're turning right: near side to near side, offside to offside. Near side to near side is when you are using front of each other, and offside to offside is when you're going back of each other. When you're going back of each other is more safer because you could see who's coming from the opposite. When you're going near side to near side, just be extra careful because you can't really see who's coming on the side of the other car or the vehicle. Okay, so the next one is changing lane. Okay, changing lane. Okay, so changing lane. Okay, someone said on the request that what is the safest way or what is the best way to change lane. Now let's talk about changing lane. Okay, say this is your car, you're driving on the left lane and you have two lanes. Okay, you have two lanes and you want to change lane to the right lane. Okay, let's put it here, let's put the car here. Okay, so it'll be easier for me to show you so that you know. So that's your car, you want to change lane to the right lane. When you're changing lane, many learners, what they do is soon as they need to change lane, they start to slow down. What you have to understand is when you are driving on a road, this road has a speed and it also has another car or other cars using this road. If you slow the car, all the other cars will catch up more quicker. So the last thing you want to do is slow the car. You do want to slow the car, especially when you're changing lane, because you want to keep up with the others who's on the road. Like I said, if you slow the car and if you want to change lane, this car is going to catch up more quickly because they are doing more speed than you. So if the road is 50, you should try to do 50 when you're changing lane. Don't slow down. So you need to change lane. Don't slow down. Look at the mirror, top mirror and side mirror. Okay, now when you look at the side mirror, the problem is you see a car. Now you have to think where that car is. If the car is behind or is it here? That's where many learners get confused. If it's behind you, this car is not a problem for you because you're changing lane here. The problem is when you see on the side mirror if there's a car on the lane that you want to enter. So make sure you know where that car is, because many learners, they look at the top mirror and they look at the side mirror and they see a car and they think that there is a car, I'm not going to change lane. What you need to understand is if that car is that on your lane or is that on the other lane. Make sure if it's on the other lane, then it's a problem for you. You have to make sure, do I have enough gap to change lane? If it's behind you, it's not a problem because you are changing lane. So that's number one. Make sure you know where the other car is. Secondly, like I said, match the speed. If there is a car on the right lane and if you have a gap, make sure your speed is up to the road, whatever the road is telling you to drive. Because if you slow down, they're going to catch up and you're not going to be able to change lane. So keep driving on the normal driving speed of that road and don't slow down. And if you think, maybe go down a gear, because that will give you more power to change lane quickly. Okay, so if you're in fifth gear, maybe go down to fourth. If you're in fourth, go down to third. That will give you more power, more quick power to change lane. The higher gear, it will need more power, and you're not going to have that oomph, that power to change lane. Okay, so make sure, think of a lower gear and you match the speed. Make sure the speed is there, and make sure you look at the blind spot before you change lane. Now you've seen and it's clear, or the gap is there. You looked at the mirrors, you put the signal on already. Now you know the gap is there. Before you change, make sure the blind spot, because there could be a car here or a bike, maybe a motorbike. You can't really see it on the mirror because it's on the blind spot. So before you change, blind spot, then change lane. Never ever change lane without the blind spot of the side you are changing. Okay, if you're changing on the right blind spot. If you're changing on the left, it's the left blind spot. So in this case, you are going to the right lane, right blind spot before you change, and don't do that. Nicely go there. Okay, so just to remind, firstly, top and right mirror. Make sure the car that you're looking at the mirror, you know which lane they're in. Are they in your lane or are they on the other lane? And then make sure you match your speed. Don't slow the car. Consider the lower gear, and just before you change lane, when you know it's safe, blind spot, then change lane. Okay, reversing, steering on reversing. Okay, so I think what they mean is, because when you're reversing, many learners, they get confused which way to steer for them to come out of the bay or for them to come out from a parking position. So let's talk about this here. So imagine these are bays. Okay, this is bays. So this is your car, and imagine you've entered into this bay there. So that's your car. So you've entered into a bay going forward. Now the car is not in the bay. Okay, you are touching the line on the right here, as you can see. So that means that you have to correct, which means you have to reverse out, and then you have to go forward again to make sure it is correct. So in this case, you have to reverse, which means that you have to steer to go slightly that way and then go forward, because your car is too much on this side. Okay, so what do you have to do? Obviously, the request is all about steering. When you are reversing, which way to steer. Now, firstly, you have to understand that your car is towards right on the bay. So which way do you need to go out? That's the first thing you need to ask. So when you go out, you need to take your car slightly towards left because it's too much on the right, and then go forward. So the first thing you need to know is I need to go slightly towards left first. Secondly, which way do I steer? And this is really important, and make sure you understand this, because this is really actually easy if you understand what you are trying to do. So like I said, your car is too much on the right. Okay, you need to take your car towards left, reverse towards left, and then go forward. Now think, when you are reversing, which way do you steer? You need to take back of your car towards left, okay, and then go forward. Think of this, the way you want to take the back, that's the way you steer. Very simple. When you're reversing, which way do you steer? The way you steer is the way you want to take the car. Simple. So in this case, you want to go left, you steer left. Okay? If the car was here, it means you need to go right, because back of your car needs to go right, you steer right. Okay? Steering depends on the way you want to go or the way you want to take the car. So if the back of your car needs to go left, you steer left. If it wants to go right, you steer right. And how much steering will depend on how big the gap is. If the gap is big, maybe 1 hour or maybe half an hour. Now when I say 1 hour and half an hour, what does it mean? It means that that's a steering, okay? It's like a clock. 1 hour means full circle, and half an hour means 30 minutes, which is from there to there. Okay, so how big the gap is will depend how much steering you need. If it's very big, do 1 hour and wait until you've closed the gap. If it's not that big, maybe half an hour. If it's even smaller, maybe 15 minutes, depending on. So steering will depend how big the gap is. But like I said, what you need to understand is the way you want to take the back, that's the way you steer. It's very simple, okay? You want to take the back of your car towards left, you steer left. If you want to go right, you steer right, okay? And then obviously you come out and you go forward to correct. So what's the next one? Test coming up. Can you give me some advice regards to my test? Okay, so we'll finish with that regards to your test. Now let's finish with this advice. What should I do? What's the advice can I give for the driving test? There are many videos on the channel. You should go and check on those videos. I have talked about what you should do on the day of the test, how you should approach the test and all that. But in this video, I would say the best way is to make sure that you're prepared. Make sure you've had all the lessons you need. Make sure you've learned everything you needed to learn. And don't rush. Make sure you are fully ready before you go to the test. If you need that extra lesson, make sure you have it just for one more lesson or two more. Don't just go to the test without it. So if you need one or two just before the test, just have those lessons. Just make sure you are fully ready, number one. Number two, make sure there's no fear. End of the day, it's your test. What is the fear? It's your test. Be confident. You are fully ready. If you fail, it's not end of the world, and that's the way you should be thinking. That is the mindset. That is the thinking you should have in your mind. If you fail, you fail. I'm going to go back again and pass the test. That kind of mentality will help you to take the fear and take the anxiety off your mind. And on the day, make sure you have your documents with you and wake up early. Have minimum, I would say, hour and a half before the test. Try to cover everything, all the maneuvers, some driving, roundabouts, go through the question, the show me, tell me questions. So make sure you've done all that on the day. 1 hour is okay, but it's too less time for you to cover everything, and you'll be rushing everything. You don't want to rush. You want to make sure you have enough time to cover and you're not rushing going to the test center. Okay, so hour and a half before the test, go through the questions, the show me, tell me questions. And one thing I would advise is that make sure you do something good on the day. So just before your driving instructor comes to collect you, wake up early, have a shower. Water is good for your body, and do something good on the day. Do something because it will make you feel good. So if you do something good on the day, it will make you feel good. I remember one of my students told me once, because I always advise my students to do something good just before the test. I always say to them, find something which will help others, which helps someone or something, and that way you will feel good. Because when you do something good, you feel good. It gives you that feel good factor. Okay, I remember one of my students once said to me that after they passed, on the way going home, they were really happy and they were really excited. And he said to me that I took your advice. I woke up and I was thinking, what can I do to help others? And I couldn't find. So I took the bin out in the morning, and as I was taking the bin out, there is a cat sitting next to my door. So I went inside and I put some milk on a pot and I left in front of that cat. I went home, got ready, and then as I was leaving, there was no cat, but the pot was empty. And I felt so good because I helped the cat with some milk and I felt good. That's what he said to me. And you will know that when you do something good, you feel good. It helps you, gives you that boost. So do something good on the day of your test that will help you feel good about the day. It will feel good that you help something or someone. Okay, so that's the best tip I would give. I hope this helps. And as you all know, I am working on a project, on a course where I will be helping a small group of learners, and it will be launched in next few weeks. If you want to be a part of that group, make sure on the description you register yourself, and I will let you know about the course when it is going to launch. So if you want to be a part of that group, make sure you register yourself on the description, and I will let you know near to the time. And for the next video, if you want to make any request, make sure you go to the comment and make a request, the things you want me to talk about, and I will try to help you on the next video, which is going to be in the next few days. Thank you for watching and hope to see you again in the next video. Bye for now.